click the subscribe button and the notification bell next to it to get notifications whenever I go live. Hey, what's up, family? It's your man, Mark Black. Happy Hump Day, Wednesday. You motherfuckers is about to get over the hump. Hump Day, right? Um, so I'm not gonna take up too much of y'all's time on this one because everybody and their mom is talking about this. Some are calling it the knockout heard around the world, right? You all know the incident I'm referring to, the incident in Asheville with the 51-year-old male who punched and knocked out an 11-year-old girl. Um, and I'm certain that each of you have an opinion about it. And I figured that since everybody's already talking about it and I haven't heard much yet regarding how I would address it, that I figured I'd throw my 2 cents in and maybe y'all can tell me what you think about my position on the matter, okay? So, without further ado, let's discuss the knockout. All right. So first things first. In previous broadcasts, I've mentioned the need for us to look at situations, analyze, and then respond, especially where we're not directly involved in the situation, right? If you weren't there in the heat of the moment, right, all you see is a video or you see something else going on, right? There is definitely more of a need, of a requirement for us as Black folk to pause a second, look at what we're seeing, right? Take it in, because it's okay if you have your feelings about it, all right? So have your feelings, have your emotional moment, right? But then pause, get the data, get the information, and then make a clear, definitive response based off of what you know about the situation. So before I say anything regarding my opinions or anything like that, to give any commentary about the circumstance, the first thing that I'm going to talk about is the actual incident itself, right? From things that I've been able to research and see. So the initial video came out and it flew across social media. I mean, everywhere you go, a lot of big Twitter people, a lot of big Facebook people, a lot of big YouTube people were discussing this video where we see this incident where this white male, this older white male, pushes this girl, this little black girl, pushes her pretty hard too, like, slung her across the way. And then, of course, when she became outraged and then ran up on dude then proceeded to southpaw her ass to the ground. All right. And that was the video we saw. Now, subsequently, as is always the case, more information has came out from various sources. I have seen sources report that the man um, had actually tried to defend someone who was already in an altercation with these young women, right? Because remember, these young girls, right? It was a group of them there. Those of you who had an opportunity to see the video with the audio know that he was, in a sense, literally surrounded by these young girls, right? I counted in one part as many as 4 young black girls that was there. I know that there was at least 2 to 3 that I saw that were verbally engaging with this man, right? So there was obviously something going on prior to the initiation of the recording of the incident itself. In other words, we came in kind of in the middle of the piece, those of us who saw the video, right? There was already some altercation, some verbal exchange going on between this man and at least 3 young black girls that was there. All right. And then, of course, the subsequent piece where there appeared to have been him being pushed, at which point he pushed her. She then looked to retaliate or, respond to him pushing her, at which point she was hit in the face and knocked unconscious. All right. That's the incident itself. As far as we're able to understand, I've also heard reports primarily from the gentleman's attorney that states that the gentleman suffers from PTSD. Of course, they'll get into all of that in his trial because he has been charged with misdemeanor assault on a child and some other charges too. I don't know anything about North Carolina's laws, so I don't know what penalty those charges carry. But I do know that he's been charged in this incident, all right, and is slated to be in court, I believe, February 5th of this year. All right, so that's the incident. That's what we know. There was the video recording that was released to social media that shows him pushing this young girl, and then subsequently when she, became outraged at her treatment, tried to run up on him, at which point she was then hit and knocked unconscious. All right, that's what we know. Now, let's look at what we've seen as the responses across every avenue of social media. I'm first going to start off with my former affiliates, the conscious, woke, pro-black YouTubers, right? Obviously, there is pure outrage, pure fucking outrage. How dare this pale-skinned, cave-dwelling troglodyte troll from West Asia lay his hands on one of our children? I'm paraphrasing, of course, but you loosely get the gist, right? Complete and utter outrage. Yet another bit of evidence that shows just how whitest, how racist this motherfucking country is, right? That this man felt like he could just punch this black girl in the face with impunity. Absolute outrage and complete cause for this motherfucker's head. Peace, CRU. Welcome to the broadcast, brother. Thank you for the support. Salute to you. So, on that side of the house, that's to be expected, all right? Anytime there's an incident where there's a white person and a black person involved, regardless of the circumstances, if you are conscious, woke, and pro-black, that white motherfucker is obviously to blame for every motherfucking thing. The black person involved is obviously a victim, yet again, of more continued fuckery under whiteism that we face on the daily. All right? So, not much to see there. The other responses that I've seen were more measured, although problematic in their own right to a certain extent. I have seen responses where essentially, and I think this is probably the majority of responses to this incident, was that it appeared that these girls was unsupervised and out of control, verbally accosting an elder man, right? Because he's 51, I'm 46, right? I consider myself these kids elder, all right? If I'm out doing what I do, minding my business, and a bunch of little chattering magpies start getting at me, right? I'm going to feel some kind of way about it. So there was a problem that a lot of people had with the fact that these girls was at this mall apparently unsupervised. Where your mama at? Where your daddy at? Where your folks at? Right? There was also some indications from certain people that the little girl provoked what happened. And so, peace, Elias. Welcome to the broadcast. Thank you for the support. That the little girl provoked the man, and pow, she got poleaxed, right? She got what she got coming to her. You know what I'm saying? You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. All right? Which, by the way, for full disclosure, I'll admit was my hot take. That was my initial response. Haven't watched the video, haven't seen this group of at least 3 young black girls hollering at this dude, yelling at this dude, name calling this dude. I can imagine easily how a circumstance like that could get out of hand. And when he pushed her so far the fuck away from him that had that been my black ass, I would have really seriously thought twice about re-engaging this motherfucker. And the fact that at 11, obviously she's not mature enough yet to make those decisions. She ran up, she got bopped. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right? There was also the response from some people, primarily brothers like myself, who said, see, this is what happens when you let these dusty bitches in the making, right? These bitches in budding who act like wild savages, who got no home training. This is what should happen to them. This is what should happen to them, right? You start running off at the mouth, pop. Okay? So there was responses along those lines. Then, of course, Elias, you know what? I wasn't even going to address it, to be honest, but I really wanted to address it because I think that I might be able to approach this from a kind of a different perspective, all right? Different than what I've been seeing. Because I'm telling you, family, everybody's talking about this. Like I said, Mike Tyson can knock a motherfucker out, and not everybody gonna be talking about it for 4 days afterwards. All right, so this obviously resonated with a lot of folk, white folk, black folk, young folk, old folk, what have you. All right, it's resonated with folk because some of the other responses that I've seen are problematic from the pale people, indicating that they would have done the same thing. Peace, Miss Denny. Welcome to the broadcast. Glad for your support as always, right? So the thing is that at this particular point, now that everybody's had their fucking hot take, now that everybody's had a say, all right, everybody hopefully has got this shit out of their system. Why don't we talk a little bit about the nuances, right? Because believe it or not, I don't think this situation was as cut and dried as the video led you to believe. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So Elias said dudes should have ran out and girls should know how not to poke a bear. I'm going to be honest with you, Elias. You're kind of stealing my thunder, but that's kind of essentially my response at this particular point, right? CRU said it's the parents' fault at the end. Yes, I've heard that, believe it or not, expressed a lot. And there's truth to that. See, this is one of those real fucked up situations, family, where no matter how you look at it, there's going to be some truth in your take on it, right? Yes, the parents should have been there to have them kids under motherfucking control. Yes, this man should have never, ever, ever knocked this girl out like he was, some WWE champion or some shit, right? No matter what your take is on it, there's some truth in what you're saying, which leads me to believe that instead of us dropping our hot take and letting that be that we probably need to understand that there's 3 sides to this thing. There's his side, her side, and the truth. And the truth in this particular instance is most likely somewhere in the motherfucking middle. So let's first address the piece that the man could have chosen to walk away. Because I agree, the man could have chosen to walk away, right? There are those who said, hey, this man's 6 foot whatever, 200 some odd pounds. It don't matter if it's 3 little chattering magpie bitches around him talking mad shit. He should have just stepped off, right? CRU says she tried to tickle Winnie the Pooh. This time Winnie the Pooh was a grizzly, right? Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy this time. That's real talk, right? So the man could have chosen to walk the fuck away, all right? Now, let me try to give you, though, some clarity on this shit. Because the vast majority of people are not trained on how to deal with conflict. See, if it had just been the little sister, the little badass, and this old cat, I would be among the first people to tell you, yeah, stepping off, that's the right move. That's the route to take. Buy a little bitch and be gone, right? Not hard at all. But there's something else to consider in this matter. This man, according to the information that is starting to come out about this incident, was already there in defense of someone else, right? So he's already in defensive mode. Now, what this means, and I'm speaking as a man, and I'm also speaking as somebody who's trained in warfare. I'm a veteran, right? Ex-military. In a defensive situation or a defensive posture, you develop sort of like this ability to tune out everything except what you're thinking of as the threats in front of you. All right. So if this man was here defending, because from one account I heard there was these girls, these young girls, these young black girls that he was engaging in this verbal interaction with had already either bullied or had some physical interaction with an 11-year-old girl, another 11-year-old girl who happened to have been white at the mall, which is not uncommon. Look, I'm not sitting here saying that kids ain't gonna do stupid shit. When I was a kid and we went to the mall and stuff like that, we was away from our folks, man, we were cussing loud and talking shit and just doing dumb shit. That's what kids do. They go to the mall and they do dumb shit. All right. So this is not excusing their behavior, but this is giving context, right? This is explaining how we could have arrived at the situation in which we find ourselves. Now, with multiple people involved, you don't have the option for tunnel vision, right? You don't have a singular threat in front of you. So what ends up happening is that you basically stand stock still. Most untrained people in a response or in a situation where there may be, right? Because we're not in his head. We're not in their heads. We don't know what the dynamic was there on the ground. All we see is this pale dude having a motherfucking verbal heated interaction with what looks like 3 to 4 young black females, right? CRU said it's not always easy to walk away. From what I heard, he was trying to walk all the way through the mall and they followed the white man and the family outside. Facts. CRU, I heard the same shit. I heard the exact same thing. That he was actually trying to extricate the people he was looking to defend from the situation, and they continued to pursue him with verbal abuse, verbal threats, verbal interaction, right? So, and again, not sitting here saying that these young girls are just straight up irredeemable, fucked up savages. They was just kids. They was immature doing dumb shit. All right? This man may have been afraid. Oh my God, I can't believe I actually have to say that. So not only may he, maybe he started tuning out everything but the 3 or 4 people he thought he was having to engage with, but he might have actually been scared. He might have said, oh shit, okay, I was trying to defend these people, but what have I got myself into? They won't leave me alone, and I don't know how to deal with all of them coming at me at once. He might have just got caught up. And if you think that that's fucking hard to have happen to you, you try getting into a verbal interaction with just one black woman. One. Now try having 3 sisters screaming on you all at once. The average cat, look, I grew up in a household full of black women. All right, my neighborhood, everything, all black. Okay, if you got 3, 4 sisters yelling at you all at once, you punk ass nigga, you bitch ass nigga, I'll fuck you up, you ain't shit, blah, 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 blah. With that high pitched ass shit, after a while it starts to sound like in your head, like that Peanuts teacher shit, that wah, 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 wah. You just can't fucking think. Now, am I saying that everything I've said is the case? No. But what I am saying is that it's likely. And how do we know it's likely? We know it's likely because his punch appeared to be an overreaction. So those of you who said that he should not have punched this girl like she was a grown-ass man, Mark Black is here to tell you that you're absolutely right. It was an overreaction to the provocation that we saw in the video, all right? She did look like she was running up on him, okay? But now think about this too. He's already established his willingness, right? His desire to extricate himself from the situation. I can promise you, family, if we're ever in an altercation, right? We having words back and forth, okay? And I start walking away from you, but you steadily walking up on me, all right? If I push you away from me, that should tell you one important thing, that I am not looking to engage you, right? Me pushing you is not a sign of hostility. That is a sign that I'm trying to extricate myself from the situation. Now, I may use a degree of force to push you out for me. I might even say something like, man, you need to back the fuck up off me. But at that moment, I'm telling you, I have no desire to engage with you. You need to step the fuck off, is what I'm saying. I'm trying to go my way. You need to go your way. You feel me? Right? Look, here's another thing to consider. All right? And I can say this because I'm from a place where this type of shit is actually not that uncommon. There was no way for that man to know if any of those girls, and yes, they were girls, they were children, right? But there was no way for that man to know if any of those girls were armed. See, isn't it interesting that and rightfully so, by the way, what I'm about to say, rightfully so, we get outraged when pale people draw down on us, right? When they pull out their guns and they kill us, right? They some pussies. They can't go one-on-one, head up, right? You know what I'm saying? They some bitches. They always got to go to the gun, right? And we black people, rightfully so, are outraged by the fact that they tend to take shit straight to the motherfucking gun before anything else. But in this particular instance, surrounded by what looked like 3 to 4 possible assailants, right? Because he had no way of knowing if they were going to attack him en masse. He had no way of knowing that if they were armed or not. He had no way of knowing if they were likely to get other people involved in the motherfucking circumstance or not. He had no clear information on any of that. He was just there in the moment trying to extricate himself from a situation he didn't find himself wanting to be in. Elias said, where was the parents 12-year-old should be unoccupied without parents supervising, right? Okay, facts. But Elias, now let's tell the truth on that too. Because like I said, I've watched everybody's responses, and there's a lot of folk that said, these motherfucking parents, where was these little badass bitches' parents at? Great question. But I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm a Gen Xer, and it was not uncommon in my generation for groups of children, even as young as 5, 6 years old, to go together to a place as long as they stay in a group. Now, I'm not saying that our parents didn't have the responsibility of watching over us and shit. All right? I'm not saying that. And yes, there should have been somebody adult with these motherfuckers, obviously. These girls got released from the house and got let off the leash and lost their minds, right? But what I'm saying is let's stop acting like we all fucking brand new, shall we? Let's stop acting like at 11 and 12 years old, your ass wasn't allowed to at least go to the motherfucking corner store with you and your peoples, right? As long as y'all were walking down there with a group of 3 or 4 of yous, your parents was like, all right, but if y'all do any fuck shit while you're out there, I'm killing all of yous, right? So that was kind of the way it was. Let's just keep it a buck. It is not uncommon for groups of children, whether black children or white children or anybody else's children, as long as they're in a group, to be unsupervised for short periods of time, especially the older they get. Look, when I was 5 years old, I grew up in the motherfucking PJs, right? Everybody that know my story knew I grew up. Shout out to motherfucking Riverview Projects, KC Mo, represent, right? I grew up in Riverview Projects, KC Mo, Kansas City, Missouri, all right? One of the most rugged, hood-ass places you could possibly imagine. And even at 5 years old, my mother would let me walk to the library by myself because, again, I was a student, a studious kid. I like books. You feel me? So I always wanted to go to the library. Well, she didn't have time to take me to the library, so she let me walk to the library by myself. I walked there, be at the library for a couple of hours. The librarians got to know me, so they would watch out for me. But I also was taught by my family kind of how to be street savvy, how to look out for motherfuckers that might be shady. Don't get in nobody's car. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't take nothing from nobody. Mind your business. Run if you have to. And so on and so forth, right? So I got some basic ground rules for self-protection, but then I was let off the leash. And that was me by myself. When I was a kid, I used to go to Garfield Elementary, right? Which was about a little over a mile, not a little less than a mile away from my house, right? Which meant that we didn't get school busing, right? Because beyond a mile, you got busing. Shorter than a mile, you had to walk to that motherfucker. Do you think parents was walking with us to school every day? No. The school was K through 6. So the big kids, right, i.e. the 6th graders, was walking with the younger kids, right? The kindergartners, the 1st graders, the 2nd graders. And we would all meet up in people's, various apartments, right? Posse up with our friends. We throwing snowballs and acting stupid. And we would all mob the school in a big-ass caravan. There wasn't a single adult to be found. So please, family, let's stop acting like we brand new. Let me go back in the comments here. CRU said this white man did the opposite. He tried to let them go. They kept poking the bear with his cubs. Facts. Everything about this man. Woo! Whoop. Officer Faulkner in the house. Peace to you, brother. Welcome to the broadcast. Right? So check it out. They kept provoking this dude, and he had made every indication that says, I don't want to be in this shit. Right? I don't want to be involved in this shit. Miss Denny said, it's not uncommon to go to the mall at 12 years old. I used to go to the mall by myself or with my friends without parental supervision. Right? Come on now. Come on, Xers. Right? Stop acting like a bunch of old-ass fogies like you don't remember what the fuck it was like for you when you was 11, 12, 13 years old and your ass was hot to trot, ready to get in the wind. Don't tell, especially you brothers. Nigga, look. If you had a bike, the whole city was open to you. Tell me I'm lying. All these motherfuckers that say, where was the parents at? Where was the parents at? CRU said it. Me and my boys rode bikes over a mile to the mall at 12, 13, no problem. After 10, the only thing was to be on time and don't be acting on no bullshit in the streets. Facts. My parents told me, if I have to hear from anybody else that you was on some fuckery, you ain't got to worry about being on the fuckery no more because your ass is dead. We killing you, right? You know what I'm saying? So my folks let me know, if I go out there, I best to be on my P's and motherfucking Q's. And she said, but there's the dough. There's the dough. And I'm talking about 10, 11, 12, 13. Shit, by 13 years old, I don't think I even had to ask my mama permission to walk or go really anywhere in my city. I had a bike, and in my hood, a nigga's bike, fucking with a nigga's bike was like fucking with his Cadillac, right? That shit was liable to get your forehead lumped and get your shit cracked back to the white meat. You feel me? I'm just saying, right? So I had a bike. I had a 10-speed. My brother had one of those BMX bikes, right? Shit, once we got bikes, I think I was, 8 years old, 9 years old the first time I got my first bike? Shit, we was in the wind. You could not keep us in Riverview. Because first of all, anybody who know anything about KC Mo knows that the projects, you got Riverview here to the north. But then if you go over to the west, you got Charlie Parker Square. You got Gwinnett, right? You got, if you go to the south, you got Wayne Minor projects. You know what I'm saying? You got like 5 or 6 different housing projects in the same damn area where we all got friends and shit. So you think we just gonna sit in our hood and we got bikes? Please. So, okay, so again, yes, there should have been some supervision. But get out your motherfucking feelings about it, family. In point of fact, what those girls was out there doing while they was wilding out was not uncommon for them to be out there. There was at least 3 and possibly 4 or more of them out there. All right, they was posseed up. They was in a group watching each other's back. That's not unheard of. Stop trying. Okay. We need to talk about something that I'm getting real sick of. But first, I'm going to go through the comments here. Elias said, yeah, you're not lying. I rode all over my neighborhood. Facts. CRU said that shorty got that message loud and clear. If I'm her dad, I didn't have to whip her. She was already punished. Right? Facts. Okay. Officer Faulkner says, if you big enough to provoke the lion, expect the fangs and claws. I feel you. See, again, this is one of those strange situations where no matter what your take is on it, you're going to find a piece in here you can hang your hat on. Because everybody's right, but everybody's only partially right. There's so much more to this situation that we could take from this shit. Right? Look, Elias said, me and my brother rode a bike 2 miles a day to skate park. Exactly. I mean, shit, I lost count how many times I was in the wind. That was just facts. Like, if you gave me, matter of fact, I didn't even need a bike. My mother, she could walk her ass off today, and she's 65 motherfucking years old. She can literally walk across the city nonstop. Give that woman a motherfucking little container of water, and she will haul her narrow ass across Kansas City. And she used to walk us like that. I remember one time when I was a kid, she walked us 23 miles away from home. She walked us from Kansas City to North Kansas City, which means we had to go across a motherfucking viaduct, a highway viaduct, walking. So that motherfucker loved to walk. You feel me? So even before I had a bike, I was hoofing it. You know what I'm saying? Shank's mare. Okay? Right? So let's stop acting like they didn't do that. CRU said, don't get into a fight you know you can't win. How in the hell did she think she would win that fight? I think the most profound thing on that particular topic, CRU, was said by our brother Angry Man. He talked about the fact that you can see the evidence of an upbringing that says that attacking people physically as a female is something that you not only can do, but should do. Right? I mean, I watched the video and I watched after she was pushed how she ran back up on him. It was reminiscent of a dude running up on another dude. Right? If I didn't know that that was a little black girl that I saw that had gotten pushed, right? I would have sworn up and down that it was a tiny little black dude, a tiny brother, right? Because the way she ran up on him was reminiscent of how a man would do it or how a male would do it. And we really have to address the problem that due to the fact that women traditionally nowadays get away with committing violence against men on the regular. I lost count how many brothers I seen get slapped, punched, stabbed, hit, choked in public with no response. The worst you'll see is somebody laughing, right? So brothers is attacked physically all the time by women, especially in our communities, right? In the black community with impunity. So what makes you think that in a situation where there was a physical aspect to it, that she wouldn't feel like not only that she could do it, but that she should do it? When you've had that type of acculturation. We really need to think about that. What the fuck? I mean, you got little black girls thinking that they can act like grown ass men. But then everybody wants to be all head up when they catch a fade. When they put themselves in a place to be treated like a grown ass man, get treated like one, then we want to be all in our fees about it. We want to be all head up about that. I'm not saying that he was right. I believe that he overreacted. I'm going to tell you something, though, that I can tell you right now is not going to win me any motherfucking points, but I can't help but to say it. Damn, CRU, for real, your boy gets stabbed by his girl. I mean, I had homeboys that had hot oil and grits thrown on them. I done had homeboys that have been stabbed by their girl. I even had a homeboy that got shot at by his girl. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. But this piece right here, I think is important to say. I do not think that racism, whiteism, white supremacy had anything to do with his response. Yeah, I fucking said it. I don't believe that this pale dude, right, this white man was on some I hate niggas shit and decided to take all his frustration in the black race out on an 11-year-old girl. I'm sorry. The situation just didn't call for that. I'm sorry. You can say what you like. You got people, I ain't gonna name no names, but they're famous pro-black YouTubers, some of which who have done documentaries and shit like that, who are talking about this as if this is yet another example of whitest rearing their ugly heads, attacking our poor defenseless children. No, it's not. No, it's not. This was one man in an altercation with what looked to be anywhere from 3 or 4 or more chattering magpies who overreacted because he probably wasn't trained, and the girl got knocked the fuck out. And I'm going to tell you another thing too, by the way. I see what y'all doing with this whole knocked out thing. Because let's keep it a buck. I done been hit. I done hit motherfuckers. And that's all I'm going to say on that. No self-incrimination. But let's just say that I have been in my fair share of scraps. If that man was really trying to knock that girl out, I don't believe she would have just been knocked out. And that's real talk. Watch the video again. You see no evidence of him throwing it all the way from motherfucking Albuquerque. You don't see him rear back and come like he's coming, you know what I'm saying, from motherfucking Afghanistan somewhere to bomb on this girl's face. Because as big as he is, he could have threw everything into that motherfucking punch, and that girl's face and her world would have been fucked up. And that's facts. He literally stood there like this and then punched out. Now, in order for me to elaborate on this a little bit more, I need to tell you about the last fight I was in. Right? Because I don't like to scrap. But people like sometimes fucking with me. And that's just the way it is. All right? So I'm on my way to the grocery store. Right? Elias, he quick jab. And CRU said this wasn't white supremacy that happened. The ensuing comments, maybe. Yep. Because white folks, you motherfuckers don't get a pass on this one. Some of y'all throwing some real serious, low-key, whitest ass, bullshit ass shade just because this is a little black girl calling her names and shit like that. Let me tell you something. She's my sister. So if I want to call her and her little pack of motherfucking budding flightless birds the names I want to call them, that's me. You motherfuckers don't get to do that. And I'm sorry if you got to be in your punk ass feelings about it. Because I'm going to talk to white people about this here in a minute. Dude did get arrested. CRU said he is former military. See, that explains the PTSD then, right? Because I heard from his lawyer that he's suffering from PTSD. My man got shell shock. If he served multiple tours, he's probably seen or heard some shit, right? I'm going to tell you, the stuff that my uncle told me about Vietnam when he served fucked me up. I'm talking about kids walking up on you with a basket of fruit, with a hand grenade and the pin pulled inside them shits. And when you reach for the basket of fruit, the motherfucker blows up in your face. So let's stop acting like kids can be innocent all the motherfucking time, because that's not true either. But he did get jailed, right? But I'm going to tell you, I know what y'all doing with this whole knocked out thing. If you ask me, and based off of my own experiences, she knocked herself out. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'm on my way to the grocery store, right? And I pull into the grocery store parking lot. And I park my car. Now, there was a dude driving a car behind me. This white dude driving a car behind me. All right? And so I park my car. And I get out and I start walking toward the store. He gets out his car. And he sees me and he starts yelling at me. He said that I cut him off when we was trying to come into the parking lot and shit, right? And I'm not really thinking about it. Like, no, I'm not feeling no kind of way or nothing like that, right? So I'm like, oh, shit, for real, man? My bus, sorry about that. Thanks for letting me know. There ain't no bigs. But then he started running off at the dick sucker, start talking shit. He called me an old punk ass dude who can't drive and this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you got 4 eyes and you couldn't see all this. He's running off at the mouth. Now, I am trained in multiple ways to deal with conflict. All right? So the first thing I do is I start observing, right? I look at him, at his physical presence. He looks like he might have hit the chronic a little bit because he looked like he was high. He was acting erratic. Right? Which, again, with the look like he might have been high and his actions, I'm thinking maybe he's intoxicated. Maybe he ain't acting right. So rather than me escalating the situation, I let him run off at the mouth for about a good minute or so. I said, okay, right, I feel you. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I'm sorry that I cut you off. But I got to get myself up into this store, you know what I mean? And I'm making indications verbally and moving away from him that I don't want to be engaged in the situation no more. All right? But now he starts walking around the car. Okay, so now I'm in full-on engaged mode because I don't know if this motherfucker's armed or not, but I do know that I am. All right? So now I'm thinking, okay, so now I done let him know that I'm trying to disengage from the situation. He's making movements toward me. Am I going to have to kill this motherfucker today? Is what I'm thinking. Right? I'm hoping not. But I'm prepared now for whatever goes down. So he gets to like the trunk of my car. And he's steadily talking shit. But he stopped moving toward me. So I was like, okay, he's still talking, right? While he's still talking, everything is cool, right? He ain't made no threatening gestures. I ain't seen him reach toward his pockets or nothing. He's just running off at the dick suckers. All right, cool. So I said, okay, look, I done told you what I done had to say about this. Now, you can stand your ass out here and be fucked up behind it for all the rest of the day. That's your business. As for me, I'm taking my ass into the store. Peace. And I turned and I walked toward the front entrance of the store. So as I walked past him, I got about a good maybe, I want to say 8 to 10 feet away from the dude. So he's behind me now. And all of a sudden, I hear this. I don't know. Could y'all hear that? Right? That pitter patter of stupid feet. So I'm like, shit. I'm going to have to knock this motherfucker the fuck out. So I turned around. And as he was running up on me, I just simply raised my hand up like this. Boom. He ran right into my fist and dropped like a sack of potatoes. So then, I'm like, okay, I just knocked this motherfucker out. Shit, I'm going to have to hear some fuckery behind this. They got cameras all over the motherfucking parking lot. So at this point, I know that going into the store, at least right now, is not an option. And sure enough, not even 10 minutes later, motherfucking cops show up. So I calmly explain the circumstances. And strangely enough, this white lady who was standing a bit of a ways away actually came up to the officers. And she said, officers, that black gentleman right there is correct. This young man called him a bunch of the N-words and was yelling at him, and he never once raised his voice, and he attempted to walk away, and he tried to attack him from behind. That man is innocent. Like, she was arguing that I should not go to jail. I'm looking at this white bitch like, okay, I'll take the win on this one, right? You know what I'm saying? I'll take the win on this one. And so the officer was like, all right, Mr., so-and-so and so-and-so. He's like, Mr. Black, you have yourself a nice day, sir. I went on to the store, got my grocery shopping done, and I bounced. Now, I'm not telling that story to hype myself up. This old cat still got them that, right? But there's a reason why you don't fuck with old dogs, okay? I'm just saying. But I am saying that to say this. When I turned around to engage dude, I wasn't whole hog in it, right? I was more prepared for defense than I was for offense, right? I could have sidestepped him and parried him off, right? Using his own leverage to take him to the ground and other techniques that I happen to know, right? And so on. So I'm more, even at this point that I know he's trying to aggress against me, I'm still in defense mode. But when I put my hands up like this, right, he was close enough to me where he basically ran into my motherfucking fist. And he knocked his own ass out. And the same circumstance that happened to me at that grocery store appears to be what happened with that little sister at the motherfucking mall. She ran up on dude like she was Mean Joe Green or some shit. And he literally just put his fist up and moved it forward a bit. And she ran right into that motherfucking boom, hit the ground. CRU said, if a normal motherfucker, hey, I'll put it to you like this. I ain't running up on Officer Faulkner. Fuck all that. Right? I'll be damned. I know what side my bread buttered on. I done seen that. I'm not talking about the pistols. I done seen the guns that nigga got. I'm good. Like, I can handle my own. I ain't no punk bitch. But I also ain't out there chasing down altercations, if you know what I mean, right? All right, so, but I don't think this was in any way racist. I don't think this was in any way on no white supremacy, whiteism, racism shit. He used excessive force, and I will say that I do agree with that. I don't think that it was necessarily a need for him to punch at her like that, right? Especially since at that moment, it only appeared to be one child. Right? He looked strong enough that even if all three attacked him collectively and he's untrained, he can at least wiggle off of them and get the fuck out of there, right? So, yeah, look, here's something I need to say. Regardless of how stupid these kids was acting, I can't ride with you black motherfuckers out there that's saying that she deserved to get knocked out. I can't ride with that. I'm sorry. Any of you out there who said that she deserves to get knocked out. Now, don't get me wrong, right? Again, my hot take originally was play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right? I believe that the young girl put herself in a fucked up ass situation. And what she got was what she got. All right? There's even indications that the white people that we saw there with the 51-year-old man, like CRU said, was his family. I'm going to tell you something. As low-key and as easygoing as I am, when you see me out in public, I'm going to give you a nod. I'm going to say, what's up? Even if you're talking shit to me, I'm liable to give you a pass. When I'm out in public with my family, my understanding is zero. Do you understand me? My understanding is zero. If you think too hard in my family's direction, I'm fucking you up. If you approach us in anything less than a calm and respectful manner, I'm fucking you up. I'm not asking no questions. I'm not debating about shit. We're not hemming and hawing. We're not having words back and forth. If you are aggressive around my family, what you get coming to you, you will be lucky if you make it home. And I'm telling you the facts. I don't give a fuck if you 8 to 80, blind, crippled, or crazy. You run up on me and my family, and I got a 10-year-old son? Oh, no. No. Understanding is absolutely zero at that point. I got zero chill, no act right. No fucks will be given in the making of that interaction. I can promise you that. But family, we need to talk about this shit, and we need to be clear about something. There are many of us out there. I'm talking to black people right now, white people. So I know you watching. Just pause, because I'm going to get to you in just a sec. To all my brothers and sisters out there who are saying shit like, yeah, that little bitch deserved to get knocked out. Shit, if I was there, I would have knocked that little bitch's teeth down her throat. Nigga, do you know how motherfucking weak you sound? Do you know how bitch-made you sound? Saying some shit like that publicly on social media. Look, don't get it twisted. It has become patently clear to me and to anybody else who got eyes that can see that there's definitely some issues between black men and black women. No fucking doubt. Matter of fact, most of the people that I'm fucking with these days across social media are people who are looking to end this engagement of war between our genders, right? Using various means. And yes, there have been people who have critiqued this situation and realized that the acculturation that these young ladies, I'm going to say these young girls because they ain't act like ladies in that video, but these young girls have been getting that would allow them to even be in a situation like this in the first place. But let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it all the way motherfucking funky. Yet again, niggas is out here caping and advocating for shit in their feelings that if they thought about it, they wouldn't be doing it the way they doing it. Saying that this girl made a dumbass choice and she paid the consequences for it, I'm right there with you on that one. Like I said, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. In my humble opinion, I think that the girl was lucky that she didn't run across one of those old white dudes who believe in standing your motherfucking ground, because she may not have made it home. That situation actually ended a lot better than it could have. And that's just facts. That situation ended a hell of a lot better than it could have. And thank goodness for that. Right? I didn't want to see the girl get killed. I don't want to see nobody getting killed. You dig? So that situation could have turned out a hell of a lot worse. But all of y'all that's out here saying shit like she deserved that you wish you could have been giving it to her, you co-signing white motherfuckers that are doing the same shit, you motherfuckers look weak as hell. And that's facts. You look weak as fuck. Black men, if you are out here doing that right now, man, I can't tell you how bad of a look that is. Whatever issues we got with the behavior of black women and black girls, that shit needs to be in-house. Sure, we're going to have our moments of therapy. Shit, Angry Man's channel is therapy for a lot of brothers, right? And in those places, in those safe places, yes, we can get that shit off our chest. We can pour out that poison from the hurt that's in our souls as black males. That's our place for it. And it's safe. If you on here, this is a safe place for you with Black Outcast Media Broadcasting. You want to put all that poison in my chat? Go right ahead, brother. Get it off your chest. I'd rather you put it in text here, right, than to put it in effect in your life. But at the end of the day, understand one motherfucking important thing. These pale people, if the situation was reversed, would not be giving us the same motherfucking consideration. If we was going in talking about how that little piss tail ass, pale skin devil bitch got what she deserved for running up on that old black man like that, they would be outraged. It would be public fucking outrage. Every video, every post, everywhere where we was talking like that would be taken the fuck down. How you gonna look caping for a white dude to be hitting even a misguided, wayward ass, quite frankly, savage, banshee acting ass little sister like that? How? How you look? How you look? White people would not do that for you. If the situation was completely reversed, this was an older brother and a young white girl that got poleaxed, just BOW! Right? I can guarantee you, they would not be doing all the shit that they doing in this particular circumstance. They wouldn't be sitting here getting away with the shit they getting away with. You white folks making comments about these little black motherfuckers don't know how to act and they got no home training. It is not your fucking place to talk. And if you come on my channel and you say that shit, any post from a white person that come on this channel say anything ill about that little black girl or any of the little black girls out there, your ass is getting booted. Period. You are welcome to be in the discussion, but it ain't got shit to do with how you feel about black people, because this was not a race issue. It hasn't been a racial issue until stupid motherfuckers made it into one. Stupid motherfuckers on both the black side and the white side. This was a situation of everyday fucking America. Badass kids who think they know better than everybody else. An old ass dude who should have knew better than everybody else. And a combination of arrogance, PTSD, and fuckery that ended up with a less than 30-second video of a little black girl getting knocked the fuck out. This is America. Plain and simple. This ain't racism, whiteism, white supremacy. This ain't nobody out here not defending the black queens and all that. No, there ain't none of that shit. This wasn't a race issue. So, brothers, sisters, stop making this one into a race issue. This was not a race issue. This was a whole host of bad motherfucking decisions. A whole host. What you saw here was textbook bad decision making. BGS said it's not a race issue. The white dudes is having the same problem, and white dudes are clocking these chicks too. Facts. Look, I'm gonna just be honest with you. As a man, all right, I'm speaking not as Mark Black, the black man. I'm speaking to all of my subscribers and viewers as just a man, a male, okay? I can understand how this situation occurred. I'm not saying that the girl needed to get her motherfucking head knocked off. I'm not saying the dude is completely innocent. By the way, peace to the elder. Welcome to the broadcast, brother BGS. I'm not saying that he was right to do what he did. But I'm also saying that for every... Look, this was a fucking what we call a failure cascade. This is what a failure cascade looks like. There was a failure upon failure upon failure upon failure to the point where some girl got knocked the fuck out. Seriously, this is what a failure cascade looks like. But was it racism? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. And the only motherfuckers that are making it about race is both the black people on our side that have an interest in seeing every interaction between us and pale people, white folks, as a negative interaction, and the white motherfuckers over on the other side of the fence who do see every interaction with us as a negative interaction, i.e. the racist, white supremacist, whiteists. They're my only motherfuckers that's making this into a race issue, because anybody with eyes to see can see that this was just some bad fucking choices that was made. Trust me, if I thought, as a black man who is for my tribe first and black people in general, if I thought that there was even a hint of racism, whiteism involved in this, you wouldn't have to ask me to speak on this. I would be calling out the banners. Trust me, on my old channel, I've been known to do it. I would have called out the banners. I'd have been sitting here brandishing my steel, saying, we need to go find these motherfuckers and execute justice upon them. That would be me. And I'm telling you, this ain't it. This is not the issue. This is not the hill that black folk need to be dying on. I'm sorry. To the sister who got knocked the fuck out, little sister, I hope you learned something. You know what I'm saying? There was an old saying back in my neighborhood. I'm certain a lot of you exes know this one. Don't write a check with your mouth that your ass can't cash. I hope you learned a lesson from this, because you survived this one, sister. You survived it, right? You didn't go home to your folks in a body bag. So I hope you and your little homegirls and everybody else that was out there, you know, bigging y'all up, co-signing y'all while y'all was shouting down on dude. I hope you learn a lesson from this, because this could have turned out a hell of a lot worse than it actually did for you. You need to wake the fuck up and understand that this ain't your motherfucking world. Because everything look all good to you, sister, until you get out here and start dealing with motherfuckers that ain't paid to deal with you. That ain't getting remunerated for having to put up with your craziness. Then you're going to find out how the real world operate. And it ain't fucking nice. CRU said that punch, she may have forgotten what she learned. You stupid. But I'm going to tell you though, CRU, when I looked at the punch, I was actually shocked because it looked like dude pulled it. Right? Brother Charles and all the rest of you who is military trained, right? You know how we were taught in hand-to-hand combat how to throw a punch, right? How to use your waist and how to pivot into a punch, right? You tell me if looking at that video, you saw that punch and it didn't look like he didn't pull it. It did not look like he was throwing that punch from the shoulder. Or that could have turned out a hell of a lot worse than her just getting knocked out for a second. She would have had a broken nose, possibly a busted eye socket, right? Because the bones around your eye, the orbital socket, these bones are thin as fuck. We're talking millimeters thin for all those of you who understand millimeters, but we're talking 1/32, 1/16 of an inch. I hit you hard enough in your face, I can break the bones around your orbital socket. And that shit hurts like a motherfucker. He pulled that shit. She went home with some motherfucking bruises and a much lessened and much needed reduced ego. Thank you, CRU. It was a last reaction punch. He didn't try to do her in. See, this is what I'm saying. Just in the way that we talked about it was already fuckery built in. Sure, the girl was knocked out. But how much of that was him actually knocking her out? And how much of that was her running across from halfway across the parking lot like she was O.J. Simpson running through the motherfucking airport for Avis and ran into the goddamn punch? I'm just saying. Let's just keep it a buck. God, will it hurt us all that much, black people, to admit that maybe, just maybe, in this one circumstance, it just wasn't as bad as we might have all wished it seemed like it was? Like, hell, the way many of us are talking about it, it was like we wish it was worse than how it turned out. Half of us wish that this motherfucker had done more to him so he could get murder charges and be hanged or lethally injected or some shit. And the other half of us wish that he had knocked her head off and it went rolling down the motherfucking parking lot. How about this was just a messed up ass situation with a series of bad choices that everybody get to go home from and hopefully learn some lessons from? Damn. Does everything gotta be some fuckery? Shit, CRU said back of his mind, his training man said it's time to set an example, show of force. You know what? And I'm gonna tell you something. CRU, you notice that even the motherfucker that was filming it took off running. Okay, I don't know how much of the video y'all saw, but the person who was sitting there videoing it was actually apparently one of the ones who was there co-signing the fuckery that the little sisters was doing. Okay, so she was talking shit behind the camera. All right, but when that girl got pow, when he hit her with that motherfucker that just beep, when he hit her with that shit, that little motherfucker took off running. Like, oh God. You would have thought he dropped a motherfucking nuclear bomb or a hand grenade off in the middle of this shit. Because everybody scattered like roaches. Shit. I'm just saying that, look, for all you younglings out there who think you gonna run up on us old cats, y'all be talking shit on social media and we let you. Right? Because we know when we was young, we was talking shit to our elders too. But understands this. If you think that these gray hairs mean that we an easy win, I'd advise you to think again. And then think about that shit again. And then if you do decide to run up on me, bring your dudes, bring a lunch, and bring your ass. You're going to need all three. But I can't guarantee you're going to leave with all three. Because this old dog knows some amazing motherfucking tricks. I'm just saying. Especially if you're an older black man. Look, we have the shortest life expectancy of anybody in this motherfucker. So any brother you see with hair that look like this, you need to respect. You need to put some respect on my name. Right? Thank you, BGS. Tell them. And bring your beverages. You know what I'm saying? Bring some popcorn. Bring your friends. Damn it. We can dance. We can make a show out that shit. Since you young folk like filming every motherfucking thing, right? Because y'all know World Star. Go ahead. Go ahead. Mark Black is issuing an open invite for all you aggro little nigglets out there that feel froggy. Please feel free to get at me. I'll make it worth your while. I promise you. I'll give you footage you'll never forget. Oh, and by the way, I'm promising you, I'm just going to make sure you get trounced a little bit. You can go home. I promise you. As long as you don't bring no fuckery, you can go home from it. You're going to go home with a much, much less inflated ego. You might have a nice little medium set of lumps, but you're going to be all right. Family, I'm not going to keep y'all going on this one. You know what I'm saying, right? But BGS, I know you feel me. I know all y'all out there feel me. You know what I'm saying? This was a failure cascade, right? The man could have definitely chose a little bit of different. Thank you, CRU. All they got to bring is the action. And even if they don't bring it, if they bring their ass, I'll bring the action. Okay? the man could have definitely chose differently. I don't cotton with him, you know, like, I still recognize that he pulled that, but I think he overreacted, right? And I can definitely see, even with some training, if he's thinking that there's multiple assailants, he's unaware of whether or not any of the potential assailants on him are armed or not. I think he simply overreacted, right? I can definitely see how the circumstance turned into what it turned into. All right, this wasn't racism. This wasn't whiteism. Get out your motherfucking feelings. It wasn't yet another incident of the white man showing us just what the fuck he think about us. I think, you know, BGS, I think he could have done something different. I really do. Like, you know, like I said, in that circumstance that I found myself in, I gave that young cat, he's a young white dude, right? And I gave him every opportunity to walk the fuck off. right? Every opportunity. Look, simply because you can do something to a motherfucker doesn't mean you need to, right? One thing you learn when you become trained as a warrior is you learn that training gives you options, right? I tell my sons that any situation, any altercation that they could avoid counts as a win. That counts as a W. If you walk away and you go home and the other person walk away and they go home, that's a win. I done talked my way out of fights. No bullshit. I done joked my way out of fights. If I need to, I know how to use these. And I know how to use steel too. I done been in knife fights and all sorts of shit. All right? So I know how to get down. But damn it, in this day and time, it's just about making sure everybody involved go home. If you the older one, right, they're supposed to have the wisdom, use it, right? If there's an opportunity to walk, walk. And CRU, you absolutely right though. People, look, if you fuck with a mother's squirrel's babies, she's going full on ham, right? She's going ham on you, right? I would like to think that at least some of us are smarter than squirrels, which means that if you run up on somebody and they're defending a kid or protecting a kid or have a kid with them, you got to understand their response is going to be way, way over proportional to anything you might do. Why? Not because of them, because of the kid. That's just the way human beings are hardwired. And it won't matter that you a kid too. Like, especially if you run up on somebody like you a linebacker, it won't matter. You're going to get buyout, right? And you're going to have to go home. You're going to have to hold that L. So, little sister, you holding that L. I'm sorry that you had to hold it. Hopefully your ass learned something. To that white dude, man, you held an L on this one too. I think you overreacted. And I think you should probably get a little bit more training on before you start trying to be a white knight and defend people and this, that, and the third. I think you need some training. I think you need some more confidence in your ability to be able to handle situations where there may be conflict. Because I think you played yourself. You overreacted to a situation that wasn't really as dangerous. I get why you did it, but it wasn't necessary, and you played yourself too. So everybody involved gets the donkey of the day, hold the L, whatever you want to call it, right? Everybody did something stupid. It's like you get a stupid prize, and you get a stupid prize, and you get a stupid prize. Everybody gets a stupid prize, right? They all holding the L. Sorry, they all holding the L. So, family, I want to thank everybody who participated in broadcast. CRU, peace to you, Elias, the Elder Immore, Miss Denny, right? Going back through the chat. I think my white folks is avoiding me like the plague on this topic. Officer Faulkner, of course, right? And everybody who watched this on the up, you know, when it hits the up on the channel, right? I just want to say to all of you, right? Think about this. Try this on for size. How about you observe the incident, right? Gather your data, gather your information, and then make a response. Trust me, you never lose by actually using your noodle, right? The hot take is fun, right? What comes out your mouth when you first see a circumstance can be heated and it's fun and it sound dope. But at the end of the day, a lot of you motherfuckers end up eating crow because you just won't stop, pause, analyze, and then respond. That's the takeaway from this one. Had that girl stopped and paused when she got pushed and realized that this man wasn't trying to engage her, she may not have ran back up on him and subsequently got punched in the face. Right? Had this man maybe had a bit more situational awareness and a little bit more confidence in his ability to address aggressive circumstances or aggressive situations, he may not have overreacted and punched this little kid in the face. Right? The failure cascade didn't just stop with them. Right now, a lot of us is failing too. And it don't even need to be that way. It don't even need to be that way. All right. So, family, again, I want to say happy hump day to you. Keep on pushing, keep on trucking, keep on striving. If you ain't learning, you ain't living. And until the next time I see you, I want to wish you all love, peace, prosperity, and power. Real power for my people.